Kobe, you know where I got this month's movie from?
No, Barry. Where'd you get it from?
Some friends from Colorado. Absolutely no. I will give anybody a $20 Amazon gift card if you can tell me where this movie is from. Oh, man. Okay, what's going on, guys? My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. Welcome to a brand new month of Who Watches This podcast.
Yeah.
And this month is my month. And so I had to choose something. Not like it's nothing different than what we've done in the past, but maybe it's like a little a Dux. You know, that's French for sequel. Is it? I think I've always just thought it's French.
Yes, we'll go with that. Yeah. Apologize to any of our French listeners.
But this month we're doing creature features from a different dimension.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now, I'm not sure if they're all from different dimensions, but they seem to be.
Yes.
Or from a different plane of existence.
Right.
Now, before we get into what I'm telling you what the movie is, we've been kind of experimenting with these, like, you know, introduction of movies, and I feel like the weird section has been kind of weird for me. So I really think we'll put a spin on the nursery rhymes and try to make them more movie trailers. And I think I want to go back to that, you know. Okay. So let's go. All right. Or maybe not movie trailers, but more theatrical. Let's just go with theatrical, all right?
Cue explosion sound.
Michael Bay. James was a curious chap whose degree was in professional yap. But when he researches on Project MK Ultra, all we're left with is who abduct ya. As Anne goes on the hunt to find him, she doesn't realize the results might be grim. As she puts together all the pieces to find all the factors, we'll hope we can see the full picture in 2013's The Banshee's Chapters. It's a lot of reaches in these rhyme schemes.
No. It flowed.
You know, trying to go a little more theatrics with it. So, but yeah, today we're going to be talking about the 2013 indie paranormal sci-fi. I don't know how to classify this movie as. The Banshee Chapter.
Is cosmic horror? Would that be?
Possibly, because this, like a little trivia for you guys. This is loosely based on an H.P. Lovecraft short story called From Beyond.
Okay.
So, if you guys are a huge fan of H.P. Lovecraft, it's like cosmic horror, but it's like never really like explained.
Yeah.
It's like things that are just like, maybe it's from space. Maybe it's from the space in between dimensions, like the Eldrazi from Magic the Gathering. Who knows?
That's right. I was thinking that because you didn't give me a category, you just gave me a movie, and then I was trying to because sometimes you're like, guess. So I was trying to figure. That was kind of what I was thinking. That was the theme we were going with. And then I was like, you know what? I like Lovecraft stories. I really don't know a whole lot, and this is gonna sound really dumb. I didn't know really anything at all. And then I went to a comic convention, and there was a guy who was working behind a booth, and he was like selling his own art. Cool, like Lovecraftian kind of takes on things, and he started talking about it, and we sat down and we had lunch together, and he explained half-hour explanation of
it's like a YouTube movie in your face,
right?
Or a YouTube short, or not short, but a documentary in person.
That was my introduction to
H.P. Lovecraft.
To Lovecraft, yeah.
Yeah, you know, you really gotta love the art because the man wasn't that great. I believe he was super racist. His black cat was named the N-word, which I was like, wow. But damn, these books, these books are so good.
Right. Didn't he like die penniless?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
and it wasn't till
karma.
50 years later that like his
I mean,
brand of storytelling became popular.
yeah, I mean, like if you think about it, it's just like it's almost like blasphemous what he was writing back in the 1910s or something.
Yeah.
People were still fairly religious, you know. There was probably small parts of the United States that were still like, if she drowned, she's not a witch. Very like, you know, like those population 500.
Right. Yeah, so I was like YouTube. There's gonna be a video that kind of breaks down all of like the old gods and
There's so many.
and it's like, yes, of course there is. 33-hour long video with the mythology of all the old gods, and I was like, well, I don't have that much awake time between when I watched the movie and when we're doing this podcast, so maybe we'll do that later.
There's like short forms, just like 2 hours of the most popular forgotten
Right,
gods.
yeah.
Yeah, and so this movie could also, like, I was like, we do really have to have an H.P. Lovecraft month, but there's not really a lot of movies that do it well. And surprisingly, this movie kind of does it well. Mm-hmm. Which I really appreciate. So let's get to starting into this movie. So we open up the movie with like some text about the MK Ultra project, which at this point it's funny. Like later in the movie, someone's like, "Isn't that kind of trite?" But this premise of this movie is also around that. But it did predate Stranger Things by like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And so, and there was that Jesse Eisenberg movie with MK Ultra, but yeah, let's not get into that. And then a montage of what I believe to be real footage of MK Ultra, or like just like government experiment interviews.
Yes, it's kind of like they kind of take out of context some people talking about things that had come out in the 80s or the 90s about government experiments, and they kind of like use those actual real clips.
Yeah, and spliced in like some of the movie clips as well. Because we open up with a character named James Hirsch, who is talking about, like, you know, the experiments, the drug experiments that the government was testing on people. And one of the questions that the interviewer had asked him was like, well, would you ever take MK Ultra? And then all of a sudden it cuts to, like, you know, our real life. And he's with a friend called Rennie, and he's like, you're going to do this? And he's like, yeah. Well, because he's a novelist. So he's like, well, I have to find out.
Right.
I have to write what I know.
Yeah, you can't write what you don't know.
But, like, so, like, when he starts the test or the experiment, he's like, he has his friend there because he's like, I can't trust myself.
Oh, right. To document this correctly if I'm,
tripping balls.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? And so he downs it, and we get
science.
For science, you know, for fiction. For literature. And for the first couple, like, maybe like 2-3 minutes, everything's kind of normal. They're making jokes. He's like, you better not put this up on YouTube. Me drugged out, and, you know, and all this stuff. And all of a sudden, the radio downstairs cuts.
Yeah.
And at first, I thought it was just an ice cream truck.
It's totally what I was like. It was like an ice cream truck is driving by, and they're like tripping out because they can hear it.
And they're like, there's ice cream trucks? But no, it's a radio downstairs, and James is like, he kind of is almost drawn to the sound.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, he like looks at Rennie, and he's just like, they're coming.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you see a shadow from the blinds, and the movie kind of cuts out, what's it called? Blair Witch style.
Right. And then the ice cream man kind of sound turns into more of a like a gibberish speak.
Yeah. And then like all of a sudden you see James's face, but it's all distorted, like very Ring-like.
Yeah.
And this was probably my only issue with the whole thing, was just like the face and the shitty CGI that they had to use. Because the rest of this movie is pretty fantastic. Like the shaky cam, I wasn't a huge fan of as well, just because I get motion sickness. But it's not like Cloverfield.
See, I didn't even. So, well, we usually kind of at the end. I didn't even really notice that. Like, there was the shaky cam, but then I was like watching some reviews and stuff, and some people were like, sometimes they're carrying the camera, so it makes sense, and sometimes they're not carrying the camera, but it's still shaky cam. Yeah. And it never clicked in my head that. I was just like, oh, no, that's just the way this is filmed, so it's all like that.
Yeah, my brain wouldn't, let that go. I was like, why do we have shaky cam and then more shaky cam? But, what's it called? And so all of a sudden it cuts, and then now Remy is in the police station, and there's sheriffs that are, hounding him. Like, so what's up? Did you do the drugs and you just decided to kill your friend? Don't make me put you down in the slammer. There's big guys there that want a young, fresh piece. I was like, Jesus.
Well, hey, you think somebody killed somebody else? You gotta.
Yeah, you gotta lay it on thick. But good cop, bad cop.
Exactly.
Man.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, we actually follow the real main character of this movie, and what's it called? I forgot. Katia Winters, I believe, is her name. I can't remember. But she's kind of narrating at this point. She's like, well, me and James, we were very close in college.
Right.
And, and I guess, we used to work on projects together. And I guess this will be the final project that we work on together where I look for you.
Right. Yeah, because they were both journalists. Journalism majors, I guess. And so, so then they kind of split ways after college. And now occasionally kept in contact, but not closely. Yeah. But then once he disappeared, she's like, ooh, a mystery to solve, kind of.
Yeah, because she went into journalism and he went into just becoming an author. But then we also get clips spliced in a little bit of them being a little more than close.
Right.
And it's more evident later when she drives out to Black Rock County, which where James lived, and that's the last place that he was seen in. And she has the keys to the house. I was like, okay, you guys aren't just close, I've known Colby for 10 years at this point.
Right. Yeah. You don't have a key to my house.
Yeah, you don't have a key to mine.
It's because you just wake up in the middle of the night and made you flinch, and then run out.
Or you want to be like, nah, I would want to be extra creepy and then just breathe really heavily at 3 a.m. at the foot of your bed. Breathe heavy enough where you wake up. This is why you got to trust the people you give your key to.
So, side story. First marriage, it was 5 o'clock in the morning. My ex-wife, she had a brother who lived not too far, and he did have a key because he'd come over and watch our cats whenever we went out of town. And 5 o'clock in the morning one day, he just popped in. He was like, "Blah! Surprise!" Scared the living crap out of us, and he was just like, "Oh, I've been drinking. I had to pee. I didn't think I'd make it home." And he goes and pees, and he goes and lays on the couch and passes out.
You're like, you made a key. All right, you only get this key when we're out of town. This is ridiculous. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? But no, she has a key, and so she starts inspecting the house, and someone just left it. No one came to clean it up. No realtor, no family members.
Right.
Did anything with this house.
The timeline's unusual.
Yeah.
I don't.
No.
They don't really say. It feels like it's a long time, but it may only be a week. It was hey, a week ago he,
disappeared?
Oh no, because he disappeared, and then it was 10 days later.
Remy disappeared.
His friend disappeared.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to say that. Yeah, Remy did disappear, even though he was a suspect in the murder.
Yeah.
But the house seems pretty caked in some dust, so maybe it's been a month or so.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Hey, we're in the desert. Things get dusty really fast.
It's true, but then the dust comes from human skin.
Well, in the desert, it also comes from any crack in your window. Or
maybe.
There's a lot of dust.
But like, so she starts inspecting this house, and then she finally gets upstairs, and he's looking through all of his like God, what are those notebooks called?
Journals.
Are they just journals? I felt like they're the black and white ones, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're like lab books or something. I forgot. There's like a name for those specific books.
Yeah.
And like, there's a couple of like formulas for chemicals and all that stuff. And all of a sudden, she like pulls out a stack of photos of them.
Right.
Very close.
Right.
And this
we
is
get
where
some little flashes of how close they were.
And this is probably where I would have jumped off a bridge. Because he goes in for a kiss, and then she like turns and gives him the cheek, and I was like, "Well, I guess I'm just jumping off this bridge now."
Yeah,
that is rough, right? But then there's like noises that start to happen around the house, and she goes to inspect it, but then we do a hard cut.
But she does find a letter that says that some friends from Colorado
had given him let me know how it is on the other side.
Yeah.
Here's the DMT 19.
Yep.
Friends from Colorado.
Yeah.
And she also does find in this house a Betamax that says MK Ultra, like what was it, like Chapter 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
Or the Banshee Chapter, I think that's what it says. Or I don't know. There's a lot of like narration, so I kind of get that mixed up. But we do a hard cut into her going into this antique store, like almost like a mom and pop Radio Shack.
Yeah,
and it's with this old guy, and she's like trying to talk to him about short form like waves.
Right.
And so she shows him like the clip of like James and everything, and he's like, "Oh, I know that." Because there's like the whole short form community, he's on the forums and all that stuff, and
right. And basically, short form is just like short range radio transmissions that are coded to hide something, and whether it's government or whether it's like drug runners or whatever.
Yeah, it's like a mile or so radius.
Yeah,
something like that. But he talks about how it's always a girl, like doing the voices and everything, and then he does like a little example of it, and there's like a female voice saying like 1 2 3 4 5, and then in like Spanish or something in a foreign language.
Right.
I don't know why Spanish came to mind first. It could have been like Arabic for all I know.
Right. So something as an only English speaking person, gibberish.
But then
I know with the 1 through 10 in Spanish, it wasn't Spanish.
But and he's like, I know, I think I've heard that, and it's called the lone. Was it the lone traveler?
Yeah.
And it's around this area, and she's like, well, James's cabin is around that area, and he's like, when's the best time for me to catch that? And he's like, somewhere between 3 and 5.
Yeah, in the morning.
Yeah, in the morning. I'll give you one of my radios, and then you can go out there. And before she leaves, she's like, hey, did you used to work for the NSA? And he's like, excuse me? And he's like, well, there is a thing about a Jesse Colt that worked from the NSA from 1968 to 1973 as a code breaker. And he's like, I'd rather not talk about that, miss.
Yep.
Sometimes you just don't say anything. Because what if he's like, well, now I have to kill you?
Well, but it's like 1968. Maybe he was like, let me tell you some stories. So, you never know.
No.
As the journalist, she has to ask.
Yeah, no, but like I've met enough people that that have worked for like the military or like government stuff, and then I do try to ask, and he's like, well, I can't talk about that.
Yeah.
Even to this day, like one of my old coworkers, he actually worked on like rockets or something. And I was like, oh, so like what kind of rockets? He's like, well, I can't talk about that.
Right, yeah.
Even till this day.
Yeah.
It's like the NDA stands firm. And so she goes into the middle of the desert at like midnight or 3 in the morning.
Right.
And with the light on. First of all, you don't keep the light on. You never know when that battery dies.
Oh, that's true.
Right.
Yeah.
But she's like trying to listen for the radio, and she's like thinking to herself, like, why am I doing this? Was I in love with James? And she's probably, she knows the answer to that.
Right. She's thinking that she was.
Yeah, she knows. She's just, like, trying to come to terms with it. Like, now it's too late. Now James is gone. But when she feels like she's about to give up, she hears the Lonely Traveler's radio station ice cream machine.
Yup.
And so it starts to get stronger, too.
And it's not coming from her radio.
Was it? It wasn't?
No, because she's like, and she opens the car door and she listens out, and then she gets out of the car
and she
to
hears
try to
it?
find it.
See, but so, like, yeah, first of all, what are you doing getting out of your car? She gets out of there with her security flashlight, and she's, like, kind of searching. And then all of a sudden, she gets a glimpse of something and breaks. It scared me.
Yeah.
Because, like, what I really love about this movie is that it's taking notes from the Blair Witch. So that's what I kind of liked about this movie, because you don't get a clear fucking view of this thing that's, like, out there. You just want her to do what you would do and get in your fucking car.
Oh, right. And it's realistic. She's not like, let me figure out what that was.
She's not like, hello, sir. Hello, can I ask you some questions?
Were you also working for the NSA? Yeah.
And so she dips. She absolutely dips. And now we're back at the office, and she's talking to, like, I think her superior.
Right,
At the Rising something journal. RisingJournal.com, whatever. And like, yeah, and she was, like, trying to go through this whole situation. She's like, all I have is this letter, and it says, like, from your friends in Colorado. And then her boss is like, yeah, from your friends from Colorado. And she's like, well, what? She's like, oh, Thomas Blackburn. And so she goes into her office and eats some of her food, which I was like, that's really rude. Because she uses her hands. Like, if you want some food, fine. Use the fork. The fork is still there. But, like, it's a famous author from the 60s and 70s.
Right.
Who was iconic for his antics.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, oh, he almost drowns a reporter.
Right. He's super, like, anti-government, but ran for office, and, he's very conspiracy theory kind of.
Like, he drops acid in a senator's, like, party.
Yeah, yep.
And so she's like, oh my God, why? And then, like, you know, she shows the book, and it's like, yeah, here's the book from your friends from Colorado. That's how he signs off his book. And so she's like, all right, wow, okay, let me figure this out. So she watches the beta tape, and it is clips of the MK Ultra
being tested on people.
Yeah, like, one of them was, like, really freaky. Like, they strapped this one guy down, and he's like, oh, I didn't know there was gonna be straps. And they close the light on him and have, like, a spotlight on him, and then, like, he absolutely freaks out.
Right. And he's like, they're coming, they're in the room.
Yeah. He, like, something pulls him away.
Yeah.
Like, from the restraints. And all of a sudden he pops out and blah! I usually hate jump scares because I feel like they're cheap, but this one was kind of, like, earned.
I think there's a few jump scares in here.
But they earn them.
They're well warranted, and they're not excessive.
They're not like, it's not like Sinister. We're like, oh, Bagul. You know, Sinister was so good until, like, boom, the Bagul ending. I was like, oh, man. If they really just panned away from the boxes with the film and then just cut to black, perfect movie. But no, someone's like, nah, you got to put a little Bagul in there.
Yep.
Yeah, and then so she's like, but then the rest of the tape is, like, corrupted.
Yeah.
So she's like,
and so they send it over to the tech team to see if they can fix it, but it's going to be a few days.
Well, but before that, she does try to call Blackburn.
Right.
Because the same night after she watches the tapes, and then he's like, have you read my other book? And she's like, oh, you released another book? He's like, yeah, go fuck yourself. It's fair. 3 a.m, whatever time you called me, it looked late.
Yeah.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. So, yeah, she talks to her boss again in the morning. She's like, I sent it to the IT team to pull the rest of the tape. And I think I really had to follow this Blackburn lead, and I think I know how to get to him.
Right.
So, like, she's, like, at this, like, shitty dive bar in, like, Zizix, California or something. Or, like, no, they're, like, in Nevada still, I feel like. They're, like, I don't know, Sloan, Nevada.
Yeah, right.
Mesquite. One of those.
The border of Arizona somewhere. It's something, yeah.
Pahrump. And she kind of fakes it. She's like, "Hi, I'm Sarah. I hit you up. I'm like an author and all this stuff, and I had questions about you because I'm doing some research on my book." And he's kind of like jaded author. He's like, "I feel so bad for you kids, you know, with your clickety clack computers and."
Yeah, he's definitely feels old.
Yeah,
when he's talking like that.
And he's like, "Well, what's your book about?" He's like, "Well, it's about." Oh, he's like, "Oh, you know what? I want to write pornography. I'd be really good at it." And he's like, well, "What are you writing?" She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna write a book about two lovers that are wanting to become drug runners, and they want to experiment with drugs." Like, that sounds contrived. Why don't you make them lesbians from from Turkey or something like that? And he's like, "Well, if you want to know about drugs, me and a couple friends, we're gonna go to my house and do some.
Right?
Would you like to come?" So she like kind of is like, "Okay." So we end up at his house, and he has an eclectic type of cabin.
Right. Exactly what you would expect from him.
Yeah, like, you know, shotguns and dead animals.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And so she's like, she introduces him to Callie, who is, she's like, she smells like patchouli oil all the time, but damn it, I love her. Kisses her on the neck or in the forehead, and then like they're talking about the drug. She synthesized the DMT-19.
Yeah.
And at first, like, Anne is like, "Oh, aren't you afraid that's dangerous?" And Callie is like, "You sound like a fucking narc."
Right. And he's like, "Well, she's a bioengineer, so yeah, she knows what she's doing."
Yeah. And so Thomas sets up the drink with Anne, and like they pour it into shots. He drinks it. She chucks it.
Right.
And then
she fake drinks it and then disposes of it.
And he pours some whiskey, and he's like, "You know what, Ann? You know what, Sarah? You know what I hate? I hate liars. Your name's not Sarah, is it, Ann? You're a big old liar." And you know,
well, you gotta invite a stranger into your house. You gotta do a little fact checking.
Right. And he was like, "Well, you know what? A little tick for tack, because what I gave you wasn't drugs. But that whiskey you just drank,
that was drugs."
That was drugs." And she is livid because, like, you know, you don't want to. You don't want to get surprise drugged.
Right.
You got to prepare yourself.
Right.
And so she absolutely upset. Thomas was like, "You bought a ticket to ride." I was like, "Are you just saying board games now?" She goes up to Callie, and Callie is freaking out.
Right. Yeah, because Callie's not in that room. She has apparently already taken hers, and she's in the bed, like in the back room, bedroom, whatever.
Yeah, and she's like, "I hear them.
Yeah,
they're coming." And goes downstairs like Thomas. Callie's freaking out and all this stuff, and then Anne goes back upstairs, and now she's like huddled in the corner. She's like, "I saw him. I saw it from the outside." And then Thomas like, "What the hell is going on?"
Yep.
Thomas is my favorite character.
Oh, by far. Yeah, he's.
And so they go upstairs. Lights cut out. Anne is freaking out. She has her flashlight, and the atmosphere building in this movie is really good because
it is. Yeah,
you feel like you're in that room freaking out too.
Right.
And they're both like looking around, and then she cuts the thing to Callie, and she's like bleeding out of her eyes all dark and
throwing up blood. Yeah.
And then like they both get knocked out. So they wake up, and is like, "Wake up, Thomas." Is like, "What the hell is happening?"
She's like, "How long have we been out?" He's like, "I don't know, probably long enough for the drug to have worn off."
But like Thomas is also bleeding from his eyes.
Is he already?
Yeah, he bled a little bit.
Okay.
Not to the extent that Callie did. Maybe because he only took half a shot. Who knows? Who knows how this really ends up, right? But Anna's like, "Okay, where is Callie's, like, where does she live? Do you know her?" And he's like, "Yeah, she lives somewhere around Reno." It's one of them fancy mansions. And so they start driving there. But Thomas is kind of like laid out. Like, it, because he took the drugs, so maybe it's just like, oh, ooh, I am woozy. And they show up to like this development. It's not even a full house.
Right. Yeah, it's like a housing development that's like
incomplete.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Well, I mean, we smoked some weed over there, so I think this is where she lives." And so like they go into the house, and this house is like barren.
Right, nothing in it.
Yeah.
But there's lots of cameras all around.
Yeah. So like, okay, maybe there's something here.
Yeah, and then when she's getting out of the car, he's like, you go look. I can't stand up. My eyes was bleeding. But here, take this walkie-talkie. That way you can talk to me.
And they're like talking to each other through the walkie-talkie, and she's like, well, maybe she did stuff downstairs because the government and their helicopters.
Right. Yeah. You don't want the feds looking through your windows.
Yeah, like looking like through heat signatures.
Yeah.
So she probably did all the drugs underground. And they're like, okay. And so she finds like this steel door, and she's like, oh, it must be this.
Right. It looks like a door to like a
freezer.
walk-in freezer. Yeah.
But I was like, okay, so that's pretty serious, right?
Yeah.
So she goes down the stairs, and it is a lab. It is a pretty like Breaking Bad type lab.
Right.
But then Anne notices like the computer with the cameras, so she starts going through the cameras. But then as she's going through the cameras, I was like paying attention to the time, because he's like, while she's like doing those, he's like, "Can we go home? It's 2:45 in the morning, and I'm tired, bleeding from my eyes." And so
and there's like a dissected brain, on the table.
Oh, so I totally skipped over that, but like there is a clip. I don't know if this is like during the this happens before they get into her lab, because we find out that from the tape that she had watched, the DMT was actually from dead brains.
Yes.
Because DMT gets released into your brain when you're dying. That's what they say. And so that's what happened. And so there are brain slices that she was extracting the DMT from, and all that stuff. And it's super wild. But then as she's going through the surveillance cam, she sees something go downstairs.
Right.
8 minutes before her.
Yeah.
And it's behind her. And I can't tell you right now how tight my butt was. Because it's just like, it's the only exit.
Yeah.
And like, why do stairs with spaces in between them exist, And she is slowly approaching the stairs. She's trying to talk to Thomas. Thomas is not answering. So you're like, what happened to Thomas?
she's saying, Callie, are you there?
Yeah.
Callie, are you in here? Also seeing if she can get some reaction from
Callie, or from whatever got there 8 minutes before her.
Right.
And she starts to climb these stairs so slowly. And I'm like, I think I gotta rush this.
Yeah, I would sprint it up the stairs.
Yeah.
I do that in my house sometimes. I just get the ooga boogas,
yeah.
And I'm just like, I need to be at the top of the stairs.
I know. I still climb the stairs with all four. Like, I just still climb with my hands. I don't know. Sometimes it's kind of fun. But no. And then all of a sudden, this long limb pops out. It looked alien. And so she freaks out and she runs for the car. It looked like Thomas was gone, but he was just sleeping in the back. He's like, what the hell happened? But down in the basement, Annie does find the G-map.
Right.
To, was it Chamber 5 or Shelter 5 or something, where the things were happening.
Right. And then there's a chalkboard with the chemical breakdown of the DMT.
Oh, yeah.
And she realizes that the chemical breakdown is the gibberish that the things were talking.
Yeah, and at first I thought it was like saying the future, because like in the first time you hear the wave, the radio thing, it says H1N1 07. I was, oh my god, it told the future. Or I guess like at that point it wasn't the future.
Right.
I was like, okay, now that I think about it, it was like way after. Yeah, you know when you get an idea stuck in your head, like Inception type? Oh man, it's so funny. Yeah, no, she does realize that the numbers or the letters or the gibberish was actually the chemical formula. So Anne is like after they get done peeing, which is like a really funny segment. Like Tom's just peeing on one side, she's peeing on the other side. She's like, we have to go to this shelter. This is where the answers are, and this is how we can cancel the signal.
Right, because somehow the signal that's coming, like the Ice Cream Man signal, is messing with the brains.
Yeah, it's like acting like receivers. Or
Yeah.
something like that.
The drug is turning our brains into receivers. Now we're hearing this, and it's allowing something
to come
to mess
through.
with us.
Yeah, because like earlier during Callie's freak out, she's like, they want to take over our bodies. Very body snatcher thing. You know what I mean? So like, okay, so like this is how, if we go to this shelter, we can turn off the signal and then they'll stop coming through. Right? And so Tom is she's like, are you sure you can do this? He's like, well, some nights when you're going through a binge and you're like, I should just pull over and ride this out. Well, this ain't one of those nights, sweetheart. How you like my old man Red Dead Redemption voice?
Hey, yep.
And he's like, well, whatever we find there, we're just going to burn it down. And he has just a tank of gas in the back seat.
Right.
Which I heard, like, people have now said, like, you shouldn't do that.
But yes.
Unless, like, maybe you're going, like, on a road trip and you're like, I'm going through this stretch where there's no gas station. And so he pulls the tank of gas out, and he's like, ooh, can't forget old Betsy. His 6-shooter, he puts it in his thing, and he's stumbling through. And they find this shelter with, like, a radio tower.
Right.
And he's like, well, leave it up to the government for repurposing things. And they open this shelter up, and this shelter also, just like nobody came back here.
Right.
You know, everything looks like they did in the video.
That was the one thing on the video or in the movie that I was like, what? This, like, the door's not locked. Yeah. Like, they didn't have to, like, crowbar it even. Like, I just assume if they got in that easy, they'd get in there and they'd just be like graffiti everywhere, and it's like a bunch of kids would have made it into like their heroin den.
I think maybe because it's so isolated. Yeah. You know, it could possibly be like 80 miles from the closest road or something.
Yeah, that's true.
That could possibly, I mean, that's like realistically, that's how you'd want to have it, right?
Right.
So far out of the way that like there's no way anyone's gonna stumble onto this, and I think that's what happened. And so they're exploring this, like, oh my gosh, like they just left everything. Like Tom's just like, he puts down the canister at some point, and he's like, oh, look at this drug, and he's like, put the drugs down, dude. I think that's the last thing you need.
Right.
And they see the observation room, and Tom's like, well, you know what they used to do over here, right? They strap people down, put them drugs in, and see how they react. Now, that's what I call entertainment. And she's like, how do you know that? And then, like, he just does not address it.
Right. Yeah. It's just like, let's keep on moving.
Yeah, let's keep on moving. And they do keep on moving until they go and they see, I think maybe through the crack or something, that there's lights coming out of a room.
Right.
And he's like, oh my gosh, I think this is like the heart of the signal. Right? But then also right next to this like tower is like a chamber.
Right. It looks like it could have been like a old propane not canister like your grill,
like
but
a tank.
Like the big ones that you see at like gas station.
Yeah, but there's like a glowing light on it. Yeah. And there is a observation window. And she's like, what the hell is in here? And then when she like uses she tries to like wipe it away with her hand, I was like, okay, great, smudge it more. But then she flashes the light through it, And then a distorted face goes. She's like, "Oh my fucking god! There's someone inside living in there."
Yep.
And it's like that's scary too.
Oh, right, yeah.
But then all of a sudden, as soon as that happens, the ice cream song comes on, and then Anne goes out and she like peeks through it, and there's something down the hallway.
Right, there's something walking towards them. And again, it's another quick flash of the flashlight. You see that it is not normal, but you don't see really what it is.
Yeah, you see it. It's like a shape of a person, but it's not.
Yeah.
You know, so Tom's like, "Get back in here, girl."
Right,
and
right.
Close it and everything.
And at this point, he's starting to profusely bleed at the eyes again.
Yeah, and he's like, "Well, not this way." Pulls out the gun and goes like how you expect someone like him to go. He's like, "They're not taking me."
Right. Yeah, because they close the door and you can hear it, something
Banging.
scratching on the door on the outside.
Yeah, but he's also, again, like profusely bleeding through his eyes, and Thomas he's feeling something taking over.
Right.
It's like the symbiote in Spider-Man. You can feel it, and so he kills himself.
Yeah.
Which I was like, you know what? Probably do the same thing. And Anne is like freaked out, and she knows this thing is gonna get in here, so she hides in the locker.
Right.
Without the gun. I was like, oh, stupid. I guess you could kind of like, okay, maybe
that's a fear mistake. Like, I can understand that.
Also, it's like one of those things, like if I take this gun and this thing comes in here and he sees that there's no gun, because you could still mistake it like, oh, only one person's in here.
Right.
But what did he shoot himself with?
Right.
But it's like funny that I'm trying to rationalize this irrational being. And then it rips the door off where Anne is, and she dips. She like starts running. She runs, and then, but as she's running, she finds the gas tank.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Fuck it." She takes the gas tank, and when she this is probably the clearest view of this creature that we're gonna get. But when she like pans up with the flashlight, it's there. And that shit scared me. I was like, "Oh shit." Because it's like an inherent fear.
Right.
You know,
right. Especially you're in the dark.
Yeah.
Oh.
So she rushes back into the room, the radio room. She finds a tank. She busts through the observation window, fills it with the gas.
Yeah.
And as soon as the creature opens the door to like stop her, throws the lighter in, explodes the tank.
Right.
But when she comes to, which probably is like, I don't know, 30
and
minutes.
it blows up the tank. It blows up the tower.
Yeah. It blows up, like not the whole room, but it kind of just like with the tank exploding damages the electronics.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. So when she wakes up, we don't know. Maybe it's been 30 minutes. Maybe it's been 2-3 hours. Who knows, right? She goes out and she sees the body, or like the clothes that the body had left behind.
Right.
And it is James Hirsch, because he's wearing his Atticus University, and she weeps. Which I was like, it's sad, but there was no way you were going to cure him.
Oh yeah.
That thing was taken over, and now you're just crying over something that's been gone.
Right, and even if you cure him, he's got an all distorted, disgusting face you don't want to kiss.
Ugh, yeah. But she gets out, and it's like the break of dawn.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, we see her boss going to the sheriff's station because Anne has blood all over her.
Oh yeah, right, yeah, because
of Thomas. And she's like pacing back and forth in the room, and the boss comes in, and Anne is like, "Do you think they're gonna believe me?" And she's like, "Anne, the IT guys got the tape, they fixed it, and all that stuff." And she like holds Anne's hands, and she's like, "Everything's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right." But then Anne keeps hearing the ice cream song.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Do you hear that?" She's like, "Hear what?" Like, it's coming from the intercom. And she's like, she goes up to the intercom. She's like, "You don't hear that?" And then when she turns around, her boss.
Face is melting, and the movie ends there. Oh, but wait. We get a clip of the black and white of the recovery tapes. Yep.
And the man that they were experimenting on, Dr. Kessler, who was the guy running the experiment, was like, yeah, just throw him out. Just throw him out. We're done with him. There's nothing more we can get from this subject. And he's like, sure, but he still has drugs in him. He's like, well, we're not here for rehab.
Right.
We're here for science.
Yeah, he signed the NDA.
Yeah, just throw him out.
He volunteered for this, so he's not our responsibility anymore.
And he's like, well, what's his name? He's like, Blackwater. Thomas Blackwater. And I was like, that makes sense. Because, like, when we were out, I was like, that has to be Thomas, right? But I was like, I don't know. Maybe. Who knows if it'll go that way. But, and then the movie cuts into credits and all that stuff. Before we...
Easter egg way earlier when she's at his house.
Yeah.
When she's looking and there's, like, she sees the book, the Your Friends from Colorado. Next to it, there's a book that says, I was number 11, Thomas Blackwater. And that was, I didn't catch it. Somebody showed it to me.
That was what, though?
When
was he Subject 11?
So he was Subject 11. The guy that they were experimenting on, that was Subject 4 and Subject 11 were the two that were on the film.
Wait, hold on. So are you saying that the Duffy Bros took 11 from the Banshee Chapter? Oh, Duff Bros.
Yep.
That is not... Oh, yeah, Duff. That is not cool, man. No, I was trying to read the books, too. But I think I read the one that was, like, in black and red. And I was like, I forgot what it was called.
And even if I saw it, it wouldn't have clicked at that point.
But before we get into what we thought about the movie, let's go to our other segment, High Star, Low Star.
So we got a 10 out of 10. This movie scared the beep out of me. I've been hearing about this movie for a while. I got a lot of positive attention on the festival circuit last year, so it was nice to finally be able to watch it on VOD at my own home. It's a solid movie with some real gut-wrenching, nail-biting shocks. It takes a lot to shock me, but this movie got me. Also, it's based on the actual creepy phenomenon like the government's MK Ultra program, unexplained shortwave numbers stations, various goings on deep in Black Rock Desert, etc., etc. Although it's not perfect, I would rate it up there with one of the scariest movies I've seen. Don't miss it.
And then we got a 1 out of 10 disgusting chapter. There's nothing worth telling about this movie except that it is one of the most disgusting movies I've ever watched. I waited and waited for the movie to pick up some pace and deliver something worth watching, but there was nothing except disappointment. To be very frank, I didn't like the trailer at all. I decided to watch the movie only after reading a few positive reviews on IMDb. To my utter disgust, it turned into a complete waste of time. In fact, majority of the movie was bland, I think that's what he was trying to say, and boring, largely due to some poor acting and amateurish direction. What? In addition, there was nothing scary in this so-called horror flick, which was the least I expected. Bottom line, guys, stay away from this movie. Save your 87 precious minutes or watch something else. I would like to give it a big 0 out of 10, but since there's no option, I'll rate it 1 out of 10. I actually completely disagree. Sometimes I try to find like some facts in the low ratings, but you know, it was predating the slow burn horror uptick in horror. The slow burn uptick in horror genres.
Right.
And so I could understand, like, if this is, like, really a slow pace for you. But if you grew up watching movies like The Blair Witch Project.
Oh, yeah.
Then, or, like, even Paranormal Activity, which came out to 2007.
Right. And this was way, way faster than, like, The Witcher.
Oh, yeah. The Witch. The Witch.
Yeah, I felt like the acting and everything, especially with Thomas, was strong enough that it kept you engaged. Like, I didn't feel like there was any boring parts or any, like,
So like maybe the slowest part of this whole movie was probably just the beginning, but even the beginning was pretty engaging. It's because it's setting you up for the rest of the film.
Right.
Maybe the parts where she's in the house or like the radio parts, but that's kind of like explaining a lot of the things that are happening in this movie. So that's really the only slow parts, but those are pretty integral to the rest of the film.
No, absolutely, yeah.
But I really did enjoy this film. I think because it really felt like you were investigating with her.
Right.
And things.
And I feel like even though a lot of times she was alone and not carrying the camera, and it was still shaky cam, it made you feel more like you were
a part of the team.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I would have liked the. This is just coming from like a whole like nitpicking thing. If she had someone with her, like doing the camera work, then that would. Because I really hate shaky cam. Like maybe it's okay with action sequences. Sometimes you can get away with shaky cam. Some people kind of abuse the shaky cam in the action scenes, but those where it kind of makes you feel a part of the action.
Right.
But for something slow like this, I would rather you have like a person. Like 2013, there's already like handheld gimbals that people could use, and and all that stuff.
Yeah. Somebody was saying that this was supposed to be released to view on the Oculus.
Oh.
And so that part of that shaky cam would have leaned into having it like directly on your face.
Ooh, I would have hated that more.
Yes, I could see the shaky cam almost kind of giving you like a seasick.
Yeah, like
motion sickness.
I had to watch this a little bit further from the TV. That way I can get the full scope and then not feel so motion sick. Yeah. That and like the distorted face CGI stuff was probably like my biggest gripe with it. That kind of showed the budget.
Right.
Because I was like, man, 2004 or whatever, when The Ring came out, did that a little bit better. I mean, that was a huge budget. But even the Japanese one, like the Japanese version of the distortion of the face, did it better. I think because like even when it wasn't like through like video or photos, when they did it in real life, it was like practical effects, which is fine. But for this one, I just like you didn't have to do the distortion because then it made the movie look cheap.
I could see that.
It's like a very small nitpick, but I did like the decision of never really fully showing the ones that were like in the shadows.
Right. Yes, it's definitely one of those things where it's scarier keeping them in the dark.
Yeah, and like the very few cuts that you do see it's super fast because like that's like the thing about H.P. Lovecraft, and that's why a lot of people have a very difficult time adapting it to a visual medium because the horror was in the imagination.
Right. It's the madness, the slowly going insane.
In the mouth of madness. Yeah, because there's nothing more scary than your own imagination.
Right.
And I think that's what worked so well for this. And like, people are always taking cues. Like people can say Spielberg took the cue from H.P. Lovecraft of never really showing the shark until later.
Mm-hmm.
To make it really count. And it's funny because like when you go to Universal, they used to do that tour talking about how like, yeah, Steven wanted to show it's like a happy accident. He wanted to show the shark more, but it just costs a lot.
Right. Yep.
And I think that's what really worked well for this film is just never really showing this creature. And when you get short glimpses of it, it really has more impact.
Yeah. Almost like ghost movies where like that's always the scariest. I feel like the scariest part is not when the thing is like attacking you, but it's when there is something peeking around the doorway in the back of the frame, or some like shadow that's walking on the wall that like you're not even really sure if you saw it, but if makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up.
Yeah, it's because then like when filmmakers do that with horror films, it always gives you the same feeling that you get when you feel like you're being watched.
Oh, right.
And I hate that.
That is terrible. Yeah, I don't know. I love horror movies, but I gotta tell you, I don't know how many times I've watched a horror movie and then afterwards I'll be like, oh, you know what? Let's watch a episode of Rick and Morty or something before we go to bed. Just, I don't want to go to bed right now. King of the Hill's on. I've seen this episode, but it's good.
Damn it, Bobby. Yeah, and like I think what I like too is that like a lot of this movie is sort of kind of hitched to real things.
Right, and I thought that they did a great job kind of tying it into the conspiracy of those
number stations
and those
experiments.
When the government started to declassify stuff. Just like how like you have all the alien movies now are kind of like using clips of that government declassification of we don't really know what these things were that were, but we will tell you that we actually saw stuff. We just don't know what it is.
Well, yeah, but then some like other conspiracy theories are like they're doing that to hide other things, which is true. Sometimes it's true,
Right. Yep.
I think Dave Chappelle said it the best way is like, well, every time something's happened in politics, Michael Jackson seemed to touch another kid. And now they're doing it with alien shit. Because now you have like all these like Navy or like what's it called now? Air Force people talking about, yeah, sometimes there's things out there we don't know, but we try to find out, or they tell us to pull out.
Yep.
Or something like that. Or maybe because of like, was it Eric Snowden? The guy who did WikiLeaks of like major government files.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's man, this movie is really fun. I would say the ending probably was the most cheapest part of this, of like with the what's it called? Again with the jump scare.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think. Check this out. If the movie just ended with her looking at the radio or the intercom and the music is playing, and then instead of seeing the face, you see like the woman's hands, because we saw the hands in the basement.
Right.
Might have been better, like if it just crept over her shoulder instead of seeing the face. I really hated the face.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Or he could have even just like her hearing that music and said, "But like, do you hear that?" And then the girl will be like, "No." It's like, you don't hear that?
Yeah.
And then it kind of credits start to roll. And then...
Or she's talking to the woman, but you just see the back of her head. And then her voice starts to say the numbers.
Yes.
Boom. See, like, because I love this movie because it's a fairly cheap movie.
Right.
But, like, as you watch the movie, it doesn't feel cheap. And I think the reason I hate those CGI scenes so much is because then those are the moments where you really show how cheap the movie is. Because I feel like the acting was pretty strong.
Yes, yeah. I totally know what you mean. Like the super exaggerated example is Spawn movie. The Spawn movie, like, was so good, and then he went to hell, and Malboja was, or Scorpion King. Scorpion King was so good, and then it was like a projector projecting The Rock's face onto like a screen. It was
the PlayStation 2 graphics.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, that's
yeah, right, because
it just pulls you out of the story.
Yeah, you enjoy the movie so much you forget this is a cheap movie or whatever, or like you forget this and that, and then once you see those things, it pulls you out, and you're like, so close.
Right.
You were so close to the nut. And then you get blue balled at the end. But other than that, yeah, this movie is so fun, and and then I think it's probably one of the best examples of how to pull off a H.P. Lovecraftian type of story of cosmic horror.
Right. Yeah.
Did you watch this with your partner?
No, it was just me.
She's like, I'm not watching that.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you bring it up? You're like, hey, do you want to watch this movie?
It's like horror movie. Who's in it? I don't know any of those people. I don't want to watch it.
He's like, that doesn't sound like my cup of tea.
Right.
And I don't like tea. Dirty water. Oh, man. But we're coming up to our closing, guys. It just sounds like something she would say.
Right, yeah. Apparently, when they were first scripted this out, some big name,
Zachary Quinto produced it.
but they had some big name director that was going to be in it. They were in talks to directing, but then he ended up who did Interstellar?
Oh, for Christopher Nolan?
Christopher Nolan.
Holy shit.
They were in talks with him.
That's crazy. Okay, but like one of I think the major producer is Zachary Quinto. You know, from Heroes and American Horror Story.
Yep.
Yeah. But we're coming to our hour. Thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check out all of our other months because we have something there for you. We have actor themed months like Rosario Dawson and Robert Pattinson and the ever so magnanimous, I don't know if that's the right word, Nicolas Cage.
It's always Nicolas Cage. Yeah. We got to do a month for him every year. Yeah. It's just, and we'll get Danny Trejo.
Yeah, we also have holiday themed months, which is like the most important ones, Halloween and Christmas.
Right. We try to do stuff like Valentine's Day. We did Love Bites with romantic vampire movies.
Yeah, but we'll see how long that goes. But we definitely have things there for you. We have a bunch out there. Just make sure to check those out because you'll find something you'll enjoy. But we do our reviews in 4 different sections. We have streaming, DVD, Blu-ray, and the Ultimate Box Collection. Colby, where are you at for this one?
I don't know if you get anything extra Blu-ray with this.
Maybe like real video files of MK Ultra stuff. I don't know.
That would be interesting if there was more. Like if you got something extra, because the way it was filmed, I don't think you get any kind of visual bump with a Blu-ray.
Yeah, like I think,
but I did really enjoy it, man.
I gotta go Blu-ray for me.
I think I gotta go Blu-ray also.
Yeah, just because I feel like this is a super underrated film. It takes the right, everyone always talks about how Blair Witch was really good for the time,
right,
and all that stuff. But even just like as a from a storytelling perspective, as far as like found footage goes, Blair Witch did it really well, and I think this is also sort of the same category where you can go like if you want to do cosmic or whatever dimensional being type of horror things. I think these take the right things from those examples. You know what I mean? And if the Blu-ray had like experts talking about MK Ultra, and then experts talk about shortwave like number stations and all that stuff, and all the conspiracy theories and interviews with them.
Right. That could really
sell the Blu-ray and all that stuff, because like those are really interesting. Like you sometimes like 2 a.m. you're like, I can't sleep. Let me go down the rabbit hole. And those are like rabbit holes that those probably forums of built on just talking about those things. You know? Because till this day, no one really ever has a clear understanding of the MK Ultra project unless you're like the president.
Yeah. There's like, I don't even think that
the president knows
I definitely feel like there's people like, what was it, Independence Day, where Jeff Goldblum's dad's like, well, why don't you ask him about Area 51? And the president's like, that's not real. And the chief of staff is like, well, Mr. President, it might be real.
Yeah, there's like layers and layers of everything, government secrets and
Oh yeah.
things that you have to keep away from the public. Like you never know, werewolves might be real.
Right.
But the government's like, they're not. And they got like CIA hunters for like supernatural beings and all that
Right.
stuff.
Well, we don't have to worry about vampires because we know Abraham Lincoln got rid of them.
Oh, right. One of the best presidents in history. But we want to thank you guys for joining us. We keep enjoying doing these things. And make sure to check out all of our links down below where we have our...
All our social medias are Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Threads,
and
TikTok,
and all that stuff.
YouTube. I've been trying to post more.
Me too. But yeah, make sure to reach out to us though. But thank you guys for joining us. My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to check out does the theme music, it is Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage. It's on our album Muser Podcast 3, and her Bandcamp is down below.
Thank you.